Hello, hello, hello. All right, we are back with round two of Angel. She came in with her almost twin sister. Oh, I don't know, about 2 days ago. And her sister was just the most precious little thing. Um, and she was not. So, being a hybrid cat groomer, meaning I have training from the NCGI, which teaches get it done cat grooming, and then I also have fear-free training. um, I had to make a decision. Do I just, get her done, or do I have her come back on GABA? And because of her age, it was because of her age, she's only 8 months. Because of her age, I made the decision that, yeah, we're going to call her back, right? Because the younger the cat is, yeah. Whoa. The younger the cat is, wow. Wow, 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 wow. Owner seems to think that she got it in her, but let's find out. How do you know if the GABA is your cat? Well, they shouldn't be capable of doing any kind of stealth attacks with their paws. They're just gonna maybe say and be vocal, but they're not gonna, their body is not going to. Let's just see what happens. Yeah. She's got to go through some heavy dematting, which just wasn't going to happen in her normal state. And even on the pre-treatment of GABA, I don't know if I'm going to be able to save her coat. But we have a chance of saving it because her sister's coat was similar. And that came out like cotton candy. So easy. So I'm hoping the same thing's going to happen with her. But if it doesn't, that's fine. We'll just work around it. We're just going to start with some pink, Le Pooch detangling spray. That's actually not the bottle it comes in. It's this one right here. And you can buy it by the gallon, right? Oh, we'll get her done. Her coat might be a little damaged afterwards, right? For a long hair cut. But so would putting in her line cut. Not that it would be damaged, it's just it would need time to grow back as in a line cut. But if there's any damage in the coat, yeah, that's gonna need time to repair itself. Yeah. Okay. Well, I don't know. Mommy, if you're watching, we always have the option of you dropping off 2 hours prior so that I can do it for you. I'll actually even show you how to do it. How you doing, Scarlett? Yeah, we do offer that in case you didn't know. So you can drop your cat off 2 hours early, which is how long you would need to pre-treat your cat before they're grooming, right? And then I could show you how to pre-treat her, right? I got it down to a science, right? Yeah, fairly quickly. All right, so the first thing I'm going to do is just open up her tail. Now, there is some slight progress with how she was 2 nights ago and how she is now. And the progress is... The progress is she would not even let me cut her nails. And right now she's complaining a lot. Is she at a therapeutic dose? No. She might be. It's just cats are normally not this vocal when they're on GABA. She's a bit of a mystery. That's why we're videotaping it, so we can study it. Yep, she's already throwing paws, so when a cat starts throwing paws, that's that's not something that usually happens when you pre-treat your cat. Yeah, a cat throwing paws, usually that doesn't happen when you've pre-treated your cat, right? Correctly. Owners are trying, right? They're trying. They'll get there. Sometimes it's a bit of a learning curve, right? She did everything and anything to block her parents from being able to give her the GABA. So, all right, here we go. Oh my. Hello, hello, hello. Who's that? Jill. It's Jill. How are you? What's for tea? What's for tea? Or did you already have it? Yeah, you already had it. Now, there's one other thing I could do. No, that would probably just be a waste of time. I was gonna say if you wanted to, you could get one of these little gadgets, put it on your variable speed dryer, and you could use air to try to blow and loosen up a lot of this matting. Yeah. Oh, I'm coming over. I'm coming. I'm coming. I'll be over in 30 minutes. As soon as I get done with this grooming. Alright, let's try it. I'm going to show you one way. One way is just to simply use air. And one of these. Now I want you to take a look at what one of the knots is doing, and we'll do a close-up. Okay? So we got the lay pooch detangling spray in the coat, and I want you to watch this knot and watch what it does when I put the air on it. That's actually touching her is air, right? But what it's doing is it's loosening up all of this matting. that's the first step. Second step is we're going to put her in the sound box because she's starting to escalate with her irritability. Even though she's on GABA, the owner does not know how much is in her. So we really can't gauge what's happening. So she's going to go in here. We're going to turn some sound on. And that's going to help with her irritability. And she's going to get her coat completely dematted. Right? And the parts that we can't demat, we're just going to shave out. Right? All right. Sound as a technique. You know what? I'm going to turn the comment section off because you really just don't even know what's going on, all right? Bye-bye. A technique that I've been using for over 15 years. 15 years. The sound that this makes helps to neutralize a cat who's getting angry, right? It's a technique. But we are not planning on turning this comment section back on for anyone who's going to stick around away from that. It's not happening. This live is strictly for who? The owner of this cat, right? So she can watch and monitor how her cat is doing on the pre-treatment of GABA. Because when she came here 2 nights ago, she was ungroomable. So this is to help the owner monitor the progress of this cat, right? Who is severely matted and pelted at the age of 8 months, right? Okay. That's probably going to be shaved off. Holy moly.
Are you ready? She's like, for what? To get your bath? Angel. You know, when people name their pets, the pets are supposed to go into their name. She's like, but I am an angel. Just not when I'm mad at, that's all. Alright, we got you. We got you. Alright, let's get you on there. Yeah. Over there. Keep going. Yeah, perfect. Stay there. You're not leaving. She's like, watch me. Mm-hmm. She's like, watch me. She's like, watch me, I'm leaving. Oh, God. Sweetheart. Little angel. We just fixed your coat. Right? Sort of. Mm-hmm. It's one way to do it. So many different ways to do this, right? So many different ways to deal with matting in cats, right? One would be a line cut, one would be, some groomers will just put the cat in the tub and deal with the matting afterwards, after the bath. Some will do the really big mats and then leave the little ones for after the bath. You know, it's just, yeah. So many different ways. That's just one, just using mega amounts of lay pooch detangling spray is what technique we used, right? Wait. For some reason, you just seem to do so much better when you have one of these on. So we're gonna do that. We'll do a small. Yeah, we'll do a small. Alright, nice and loose. Nice and loose. Good girl. Holy moly. Holy moly, 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 moly. Alright, now we're just going to go in and do a little treatment. She has a tail that any breeder would give their left pinky for. Not every breeder can do this. So this breeder must be the envy of a lot of Persian breeders. That tail is probably one of the most magnificent ones I've ever seen in my life, right? For a Persian cat, right? This is going on nice and warm, just to help alleviate the misery. Wouldn't it be nice if they could add a happy component to GABA so that the cat is no longer reactive but is also happy? I'm sorry, is that too much to ask? Is that why a lot of vets in UK add gabapentin with trazodone? Because trazodone is an antidepressant. Yep, that's what a lot of vets in England do. For the very difficult cats. Yeah. Some vets are doing that here. I don't know if Traz is going to be a happy component. I mean, I've only seen and witnessed 3 cats on Traz, and they look like they're in some kind of Zen garden in their mind, right? Just lost in space somewhere. I wouldn't say it's natural. It's actually a happy component. You know what I mean? Yeah. Yep. I'm about to put my earphones on. I have to listen to you. She's like, fuck you, lady. Well, you're welcome. You're welcome, Angel. No worries. No worries. We got you. Alright, let's get the water nice and warm. Alright, wash, rinse, repeat, and then we're going to restore. There's wash, rinse, repeat, and then there's also wash, rinse, repeat, and restore. So when you are doing a full coat restoration like this and you're having to do a full degreasing treatment, what I'll usually do after the wash,
rinse and repeat, is the Restore. And the Restore is this Thick and Thicker protein treatment, foaming response, foaming, volume response foaming treatment is the Restore, right? All right. Let me say that 10 times. All right. Daryl, you have one job, Daryl. That's all you got, one job. Got a problem? You think, nah, I just thought today was my day off. Okay, no worries. My favorite employee. Yep. And he has a backup. Alright, what are the chances that after her bath or during her bath she's actually going to reach some kind of nirvana or epiphany that says, hey, this feels good? What are the chances? Anyone want to take bets? Anyone want to take bets on that? Yeah. I doubt it. I doubt it. It's a possibility, but I doubt it. Alright. Should we do her face first? Sure, we'll do her face first. Put her out of her misery. Yeah, because the body and the legs and the tail is going to take a lot longer than just doing her face. So let's just get her face over and done with so we can put that happy hoodie back on. Alright? She's like, whatever you say, lady. Where's my sister? Well, I don't know. That wasn't a bad idea, though. Bringing your sister here just to keep you company. Yeah. So, Mommy, if you're watching, that's not a bad idea. Just, each time that, even if it's just a separate private appointment for the one sister, if you just keep them together, it'll help them. I think it'll help them. Right? The last time she was here was two days ago. And once it occurred to us that there's no way we were going to be able to groom this child, we put her in the caddy shack back, which is like 2 feet away from me, right behind me, right? And so what we got her to do was visually watch everything that was happening with her sister, just to give her a visual. And so she was not only watching what was happening, she was watching her sister's response to it, which was nothing. Her sister had no response. Because her sister was just an absolute princess, right? Even though she's called Angel, her sister was the angel, is what happened, right? So this, it was, we're just taking it baby steps with this little one. The last thing I want to do is just have her go down the wrong road regarding grooming, where she figures out that this is nothing or nothing she will ever want to do again in her lifetime. The gabapentin helps to keep a cat from being so emotional, right? It allows them to process a little bit better and not just be so reactive, right? A reactive cat, you really can't do a whole lot with a reactive cat other than to, get her done technique, right? Really the only way to groom a cat like that. So, anywho, you got the cutest little skull. She's like, what does that mean? You calling me stupid? No. I'm just saying you're little. You're sweet. You're sweet. I'm a big woman. Right? And I just think it's awesome that you're so cute and sweet and petite. I mean, anything by that. But, when it comes to the size of a cat's brain, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter the size of the brain. They're still going to be the smartest animal on this planet, right? You say you got that right.
give birth. The ultimate supreme being, right? The ultimate supreme being. Now, just because she likes her face, or she's tolerating it, or she's semi-enjoying this, doesn't mean she's gonna like the rest of her body being done. But she's got a little smile on her face right now. Could only be temporary. So, all of you groomers, if there's any watching right now, who say save the face for last because they hate it. Maybe for one or, you know, couple, but in general, most cats love it. Just a little FYI. So if you start the grooming off with something they enjoy, it's going to make for a much better, you know, grooming, in theory. You know, every cat's different. Alright, so what we're going to do is be mindful of any of these knots that she had and tangles starting to form up again in the bath. So we're going to use this $6 tool, priceless, right? It's got 250 raised nibbies, $6, right? I got that from I Love Groomers, or Love Groomers, yeah. I think Hydra was backing that product. I don't know what the connection is, but it's a great wet tool, obviously because it's plastic. But it'll really help you to try to keep any long-haired cat from starting to knot or tangle up, right? Now I did most of that dematting in that dryer box, but her coat is not perfect. So you just gotta be mindful, right? What my goal is to, by the time she gets out of the tub, just make sure her coat is free and clear of any kind of tangles or knots, so that all that would be required after she gets dried is just a quick comb out, not dematting, not untangling, just a, you know, just a nice little comb out afterwards, after her dry, right? So my goal is to take care of any and all issues that she might have with her coat while she's still in the tub, right? And then we don't want her coming out of this tub with any issues, put it that way. We want them all taken care of. Wait. Alright, let's start rinsing off the front paws. Good lassie. Good lassie. We're going to do 2 shampoos. I call them the dynamic duo. F&T and Orvis. For that really deep clean. You know, she hasn't had a bath in 8 months in her life, right? She really hasn't had anything done. So it's a deep cleaning that we're looking for. There we go. So wash, rinse, repeat, right? First one is a degreaser. Second one is going to be a finishing shampoo. We'll probably use the Volume by Christensen for the finishing. When a coat hasn't been washed in this long, and you try to get it to lather, it's like if you didn't wash your hair for 1 or 2 weeks, right? The first lather is going to barely do anything, right? That's why I add that Orvis in there. Try to get that going. Alright, good, Lassie. Good, Lassie. Here we go. Alright, everything else is going to get done now. Usually I break it up into thirds, but we're going to do everything else. Usually I'll do the back feet and the tail, and then wait for the body for last, right? Cats with a happy hoodie on their head and who are on gabapentin sometimes will have a hard time balancing, so that might be what's happening with her right now. So I just took the happy hoodie off. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I was just thinking, what if this is something you could use as a wet tool too, that they could detangling spray, probably. There's so much in the coat already, so I don't know. Wham! She doesn't seem to be doing well on top of the tub. I'm about ready to flip this around and put her in the tub instead. Yeah. If she can't, if she starts to get worse sitting on this tub, I'm just going to flip her around. Put her in the tub instead. Mm-hmm. Yes, I will. And messy. You got this. I know. You got this. You got this. This is going to be really gentle on the cat as well. Especially when you just dematted a cat. They're going to be really sensitive on their skin, right? So you just want to use things that are going to be very sensitive. Waka waka. I think we forgot a booty. Here we go. She's just not very comfortable. Alright, Emery. You got this. Do you want the happy hoodie or not? You don't seem to be doing well ever since I took it off. What about this one? Little babushka. Little babushka. Will that work? She's like, I don't know. I feel funny. Let's try it. Alright, wash, rinse, repeat. So the next lather will be the finishing shampoo. We're going to use the top cat volume. And we're going to get her off the top because she's failing. If she's going to wear this on her head, she can barely balance because she's a GABA baby. So, here we go. Here we go. Here we go. She'll probably do a lot better in the tub, and vice versa. A cat who doesn't do well in the tub will probably do better standing on top of the tub. Shower cat versus a bath cat, right? Same as humans. Some people like baths, some people like showers, and some people actually like both. So there's a lot of cats who like both as well, right? In a comfort position, sitting like a little prairie dog. Yeah, that's good. When they find that little comfort position, that's when you know you're going to get through the grooming. That's when you know You can start saying hallelujah, right? Mm-hmm. 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 Can I get that tail, please? That glorious tail. There you go. Sorry. Daddy. Thank you. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. You did it. Let's pop that out. Good girl. You did it. You did it. Now, the way you restore the coat, you can do it a couple different ways. That Chris Christensen Thick and Thicker can be used straight. You can put it in a rinse water. You can make a wash out of it and froth it. There's so many different ways to use it. But the first step is just to get your cat rinsed off. Right? That's the first step. Mm-hmm. I'll just make a wash of it. So that's just, I guess, 1 part product and 10 parts water, or 20, or 50, you know, depending on how diluted you want to make it. Yeah, so really quick to froth that up so it looks like whipped cream, actually. And we'll just make a wash out of that. Mm-hmm. The frother that I use is not some cheap $20 battery operated thing, right? We're using something substantial. Kitchen appliance. The one I have is, I think, from Sweden. Normally retails for $300, people. I got it for $6. See how she just totally just melts down, has a meltdown the minute you put her back on there. We did find her comfort spot, right? I don't know why I thought she'd be fine back on top of the tub. So let's just put her back in there. Let's just put her back in there. You're fine. Get it together, lady. Just get it together. Just get it together. Get your prairie dog. Get your prairie dog. That's it. Get your prairie dog. Good girl. You got this. You got this. Good girl. Here's the irony, folks. About half the people who are watching this video right now are literally in tears crying. For no other reason than they think I'm abusing the cat, right? But here's the thing, folks. The owner is watching right now. Okay? She would rather figure out how to have her heavily matted pelted Persian come in for an actual real grooming, and then try and work with a $2 treatment, pre-treatment, right, which is what she's trying to do today. Then, you know, the alternative. You know what the alternative is? $300, sedate grooming, and the cat's not getting a bath, right? I mean, they might call it a medical groom, bringing the cat to your vet. I'm really not sure why they're using the word groom, because no vet has ever been taught in their syllabus how to groom cats. It's not even in their syllabus, people. They know how to shave mats out. Some might actually have a groomer that works for them, which is usually a dog groomer who has no training in cat grooming. So do you understand that your hands are tied as a cat owner when it comes to what your options are? Just saying, people. So. Mm-hmm. I did explain to the owner that the pre-treatment of your cat, don't expect that you're going to get it perfect on the first go, right? On average, most of my clients, it takes them 2 or 3 times, 2 or 3 attempts before they finally figure out how to work with it and get the results that they're looking for, right? Capiche? Capiche. Capiche? Capiche. And I let her know that the video would let her know and show her, because she's watching right now, the video will show her just how effective her pre-treatment is, right? There we go, good girl. No. Are you plugging it up? Yeah, you are. You got your big old fat butt plugging it up. She says, are you just calling it fat? Sorry. Whoopsies. You're not fat. Hi, she's joking. She's joking. Alright. Good girl. Alright, now that's the restore, right? It's usually a 3-minute treatment. Now we gotta get her out and rinse her. Without her block, she keeps blocking the drain between her butt and her tail. So how about if we just get rid of this altogether at this point, so we can just try and get her rinsed off. Good girl. Good girl. You got this. Can you see? There. A little bit better. You got this. Alright, so all that should be left to do is the drying and a quick comb out. No more dematting. No more trying to get any pelts out. Nothing, right? It's all done. You go. Hi. Did I just get a kitten meow? I did, didn't I? I did. Did you hear that? She tried to talk to me. Give me a little kitten meow. I think she was asking me, can I please get out now? Yep. As soon as you rinse. Yep, as soon as you rinse. She's like, no. She's such a demon child. You got your hands full, Mommy. Mommy, you got your hands full. She is a strong-willed child. Complete opposite of her sister. It's absolutely amazing. Because most times siblings are both similar in their temperament. Not this time. Maybe she'll grow into being more like her sister. Maybe. I think she already is at home. This is just how her fight or flight surfaces when she's coming in for her grooming. That's all. Yeah. You got this. You got this. You got this. You did it. You did it. Let me see. Just gotta check her soap color. Alright, let's take that off. Little babushka. Little babushka. We gotta keep you away from the sides, little one. Right? Good girl. You did it. Whee! Now we're gonna towel wrap her. We're gonna utilize 2 towel wraps, right? And the reason I was up for 24 hours 3 days ago, it takes me days to recover from something like that. So the first thing that affects me is my speech. Maybe by tomorrow I will have fully recovered from being up for 24 hours. Yeah. Anyway, back to Angel. We're gonna use a towel wrap. Nice fluffy towel wrap. This one for about a minute to get maximum absorption. drying, right? With the towel first, right? And just wrap the cat. I see a bunch of people using sham towels on a cat. No, sham towels are great for dogs, but sham towels, in my opinion, despite how many cat groomers are still using them, is not designed to be used on a cat, because each time you try to, because you have to squeeze the animal in order for it to work. Yeah, you're squeezing with the sham towel, right? There are no cats who want to be squeezed on their legs, right? Some are going to have a nice temperament and they'll let you, but in general, sham towels are for dogs, right? Maybe they have to use the sham towels because they don't have access to, maybe water is not as prevalent in their country as in this country. I don't know. Less laundry, I don't know. Who knows? Who knows? Every groomer kind of does their own thing. I studied from about 20 different groomers. Most of them are outside of this country, right? Wow. You're precious. Yes, you are. You're precious. All right, Angel, you did it. You survived. You survived. You did. You survived. She's like, I did. What's next? Well, let's go over here. Let's go over here. We'll probably put it in that little dryer box just for a little bit. So let me heat that up for her. It has been on for a little bit. Oh, she should be ready in about 15-20 minutes, Ma. FYI, right? All she's got to do is get dried and have a comb run through her entire coat. There. All right. First towel, useless. Wait. There, second towel. Just so you know, this is not a typical reaction of a GABA baby. Ona has no idea how much is even in her. She was guesstimating that she got a certain amount in, but I don't even think that happened. Okay? Because this is not your typical GABA baby, right? Nope. Not even close. You did it. Good girl. Okay? She's like, I'm not talking. Alright. Walking in cat grooming. No. There's no walking in cat grooming. You got this. Good girl.
yelled at, and I don't like listening to a baby crying, so we're gonna put these on. I don't know what you guys are gonna do, but I'm gonna put this on. Gotcha. Ha. Gotcha. Holy moly. Alright, I'm going to work on our tail because it's hanging over the side of the table. Like so. Can you see? Like a tail? Yeah. I'll work on it. Alrighty then. You did it. Yeah, you did. You did it. You did. Wowza, wowza, wowza. Sorry. 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 You got this. You got this. Yeah, you got this.
Ready, steady, here we go. Let me have it. No. No, no, no. Muévele, muévele. Alright. Look at there. Just go. Yep, look at there. I'm gonna let you chillax about the dryer box, alright? And then you can yell at somebody else. Alright?
survive that. Nope, 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 nope. Wah, wah, wah. Wah, wah, wah. 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 Alrighty then. You did it. Well done. Alright, Mom. In case you're watching, she's there. You're just gonna let her sit in the dryer box while she's waiting for you to pick up, right? Yeah. She's been washed and coiffed. Your demon child you can come back anytime for her. Yeah. The demon angel. The fallen angel. Yeah, that's what I'm gonna call you. The fallen angel. You did it. How do you feel? She's like, I'm not talking to you. Alright. We'll let her get up and do a 360 so you can see what she looks like right now. In 1 minute. Alrighty then. Alright. What I gave her was the Asian lion cut, which is just to put back part of her with her legs in a lion cut. Okay. We salvaged all. Oh my god. Maybe you can see it when she's in the dryer box. Turn that off, and then she might want to go in there. All right, look at that tail. All right, there you go. All right, we got it done by using copious amounts of this product. We started off by soaking her coat in that, well, not soaking it, but just saturating it with the Lake Pooch Concentrated Detangling Spray. We then took a variable speed velocity dryer. The only time you'll ever see me turn that dryer higher than its lowest setting is when I'm using that technique. And you put this on the end of that dryer attachment, and then you start to lift and loosen all of that matting and separate. And sometimes it will start to break apart some of the matting, And during that process, it's not really triggering because the only thing touching the cat is air. I learned that technique when I tried to groom my own Don't Touch Me cat, who was Himalayan. So for the first 10 years of his life, he got washed and blown out, but the caveat was you couldn't touch him with a grooming tool, right? So what I learned quickly, either I was learned it or it was taught, I forget. I learned quickly that I could brush and comb out my cat's entire coat after the bath with just using air. So it's not just for drying, people. It's also a grooming tool. And then after that, we then have to graduate her into the Caddyshack fact, turn the sound on that everyone out there bitches about because they don't understand that sound is what is needed to help neutralize a cat from getting irritable and aggressive. It stops them from escalating, which we literally captured live on this video. Okay? The whole point of this video is to capture everything, right? And then from there, we put her in the bath, gave her like I said before, people, it's a process. But we got her fully restored. We got her in the tub, we gave her a degreasing treatment, and then a wash, rinse, repeat, and restore. Usually it's wash, rinse, repeat, but in some cases we do a wash, rinse, repeat, and restore. And the restore is the thick and thicker foaming treatment protein, right? And then after that, I made sure before she came out of the tub that there were no more tangles. Because the last thing I want is to be pulling at a knot or pulling at a mat when the cat is being dried, right? This should be their downtime. This should be this feels good time, right? Yeah. So the last thing I want to do, so that's the strategy that I use when I'm dealing with a cat with these kind of issues, right? So we went live so that the owner could watch and monitor the progress of her pre-treatment of GABA, and we'll have it on video, and we'll be able to do a side-by-side comparison for her next groom. And then what I also did was I also let the owner know that I would make her a video, or she can come in 2 hours early and I can do the pre-treatment myself in front of her to teach her. But what I did tell her was I was going to make a video of my best way of pre-treating my cat clients, which on occasion I have to do. They're usually older ladies who are under strict orders by their doctor. They are not allowed to get bit by a cat. And if they do, they're going to end up in a hospital for a while, right? Because of their own personal serious health issues, right? So those customers come to me 2 hours early, and I pre-treat the cat for them in front of them, right? But there are clients who are very confused about how to do the pre-treatment. So I tell them to come 2 hours early, and I show them, I demonstrate how in front of them, and then they usually will go over to this, God, you're adorable, to this cat corner right over there. And in that cat corner, we're using Feline and music, right? So the entire time the cat is here, we're using techniques, right, to try to counter and prevent them from, how cats would normally be. Yeah, you can only imagine. I mean, the videos are all over the internet regarding what happens to a cat when you improperly groom it, right? And that is not our end goal. We've got plenty of room for improvement to get her one step closer to a more successful spa day. Right now, she's currently at levels 1 to 3, right? 3 means your cat is miserable. 2 means your cat is pensive, and 1 means your cat is perfect, right? So she's going from 1 to 3. She's fluctuating back and forth, but she's out of the red zone. The red zone is any cat who goes into levels 4, 5, or 6, right? So, anyway, there you have it. Thank you for joining us, and say goodbye to this little sweetheart. That's Angel, the fallen angel. That's what I'm going to call her. Yeah. All right, take care. All the best.